Gentlemen, there are those that say the Portugal draw felt like a win. I ask you, does it feel like a win? Nine! No, you are simply disgusted. I put you in the position to win, and you fall for the old Schnitzelgruben right in the tailpipe. In all my years of coaching, I have never seen such a despicable display of football.
Nein, Verkettensstanner, das family of Zettersburg.
Und ein Offspringer der Bradley.
Michael, how did Luca feel when you let the entire country down?
Tom Harvard es zwei Offspringer. Das Jakob und Olive.
And Tim, did little Olivia come up to you on your peaches and go, Daddy, I'm going to bite you like Luis Suarez after you allowed the game-tying goal? You will make me sick of that expired sauerkraut. Now let's go. Mother Deutschland, avance!
Vi putten til Lackenstanner der Amerikaner. Niden, Boxcorenstanner, begin to jagte.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for Box Score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes out in Milford, Connecticut. Seton, you said the boss was already in a bad mood when he came into work this morning. What does it usually take to change his mood on a day like today?
Oh boy, if I knew the answer to that, I'd be a wealthy man. You just kind of try and make Dan start laughing a bit more, which usually means, all right, who are we going to have like Dan make fun of first?
Yeah.
And then that usually will get him out of a funk.
Fritzy, you were working on your infamous mock headlines when Dan made sure your priorities were in the right place.
Fritzy, this is where I have a problem with mock headlines. Your other job responsibilities suffer.
No, I should have said something.
No, but it's got to be done.
Okay.
That's not fair to the audience. If Eric Winolda says something that is good last hour and we're going to have it next hour, I should have that.
We should have turned it around much
better. But you have to do that for 2 days, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, Dan's right. We all have to be, the immediacy of the show has to take precedent over anything we're working on. And it's tough because we're all working on multiple things during a show. But everyone's got to keep an eye out for certain things. Dan in the past has asked Fritzy to let 2 days know what to cut to bring back from a segment, but everyone has to do it.
I take the bullet on that one, and we've had conversations before about that, Dan and myself, about trying to take the lead with that. But and it is helpful when we all kind of, as a group, try to figure out what would be the best thing to play back. But I was getting overly excited about Fans versus Fritzy and the mock headlines, and probably could have spent a little more time, or should have spent a little more time, jotting down some notes off of the interviews that were.
Can I ask a serious question, though? Like, we were supposed to cut from Winolda, but we don't have generally, I feel like it's a day-by-day basis on whether we're going to cut sound. Like, we didn't cut. There are a lot of good interviews the last 5 days that we haven't brought back. How do you know?
You don't know. First of all, any of us could either say we like it and then ask 2 days to cut it, or we could ask Dan, do you want that from him? And then if Dan says yes, then you know for sure. If Dan says no, then you know for sure. So that's on us to ask Dan. Like Winolda, the sound was really good, but McLovin's right. It wasn't an obvious cutting situation, as they'd say. But if you're ever unsure, you just ask Dan, hey, you want this?
I think Dan might have been reminding us to be tight on that, and like, maybe, I don't know, I think Dan might act like that because he'll notice tomorrow we'll, say we have Seth Greenberg on. We'll be very careful
But
about
here's the thing, what usually happens in a situation like this, now we're going to cut 2 cuts from every single guest for the next week to overcompensate for something, and that's not what he's saying. He's saying it might be 1 cut a week that we need to bring back, because as far as, I think we're 3 days into this week, and this is the only time we've gone with 1.
See, I think he is saying cut 2 things from every.
Well, I would hope not.
He's definitely not saying that.
I think if something that's really jumps out, like Klinsmann, I know what my reaction was, and I think I could speak for the rest of the guys when he said that Klinsmann, I took him seriously when I don't know if he was joking, that Klinsmann would lose his job if Team USA didn't advance. Based on our reaction to that comment right then and there, probably would have been a good time to tell 2 days, hey, why don't we grab that? And that didn't happen today.
Fritzy, because of your poor performance usually on Know Your Show, and you're usually on the phone, should you be doing something like that, like getting sound bites from the show?
Yeah, we're all multitasking, so there's no excuses. We're all for something like that. I think that's maybe more of a group thing. I agree with Seton had said earlier that Paulie really has a good, as does McLovin, a really good news judgment, and he just has that way of knowing, wow, this is something we should play back and send to different sports websites. This could make a lot of news. So they're great with that. But no, we're all doing like several things at once, whether it's booking guests or getting the tape ready or blogging or getting Paulie constantly in Dan's ear, giving him ideas for how to move something forward. So there was no excuses. We should have had that bite ready to play back as soon as possible.
Let's move into World Cup. Let's take a look at what caused all the hoopla today in the man cave today. Luis Suarez taking a bite out of another player's shoulder. McLovin, what was your reaction when you first saw this?
You know, I did know, I'm not a soccer expert by any means, but like I think we all knew Suarez was a biter. I was like, that could not have just happened again. Like, this guy can't be so dumb. The one thing on this planet he should not be doing is biting another man, and he did it. It's just like, I was baffled that anybody could be that dumb.
It was weird to be like hoping for a headbutt, which is bad enough to be like cheering like please let that have just been a headbutt, which again is a terrible thing to do. But then to actually see, and then he pulls the shoulder to show the actual bite marks, and he's already done this twice. Is just insane.
I was just kind of like, wow, this dude's a lunatic. My only question really was, how much are we going to actually talk about it today? That it's like we were watching and it was a big deal, but I didn't know how it was going to carry over 21 hours later. And then today, like, all right, is this going to be a big deal tomorrow or not? It certainly was during the coverage, but, big picture.
That's how I look at it, too. In the moment, I'm watching as a soccer fan, and then 2 minutes later, I'm thinking as a producer. And 21 hours later, the good thing is the punishment hadn't been handed down yet, so that's still out there. But I think we always try to input other sports, American sports, because worldwide, that was the single biggest story on earth yesterday. In America, not necessarily so. LeBron James opting out is the bigger story. But we got to balance it, but also put it in perspective for people who don't know who Luis Suarez is.
The boss found a little humor in the incident, and he shared it with the show today.
Luis Suarez, I'm going to guess that he's got a problem. Now, if I accidentally bite you, or you run into my teeth, do you think Suarez looks down the roster like a menu? Let me see. What do I want to order? Italian. I love Italian food. I'm going to take that. Was this guy a starter or a sub? So it'd be the Italian sub.
Yeah, he came off the bench.
Oh, wow. Fritzy, that's a shot early.
Strong.
I'll take the Italian sub, please.
Yeah, this one was right in DP's wheelhouse. You could tell. He sort of has the same vibe as Fritzy and the mock headlines, where he's like, man, I can't wait to sort of sink my teeth into this one. Right. I just went there, sorry. Yeah, he was a little giddy, though, with his references. It was funny.
Brock, I remember, I haven't thought about this in a long time. We were in Columbus, Ohio for a road trip for the show, and it was the night that the Malice in the Palace with Ron Artest, and we were sitting in a bar watching it play out. And it's like, I wish we could go on air right now. It just ended, and it was maybe 10:30 at night or something like that, and we're all sitting there in a bar watching going, tomorrow is a freaking layup. And this is different because it's soccer, it's not the NBA, but it had a little bit of that feel to it. Like you can go all in on this topic.
Well, we asked Dan Nation which one of you would most likely bite someone, and not shockingly, each one of you got a vote. Let's see what the people said here. Anthony said, Paulie gives out the vibe that a sociopath is buried deep beneath.
Not that deep beneath.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty skin deep, actually.
Yeah. Shallow kiddie pool.
Tyler tweeted, McLovin, a nerdy kid tried to bite me in elementary school during a game of King of the Mountain. It's just in them.
Oh, yeah. I love these people who tweet like that I'm a nerd or that there's... I'm sure I could seriously tie my right hand behind my back and kick Tyler's ass.
And is a nerdy person, someone that would actually have the courage to just biting people? That's a stretch for me.
Tyler.
Don't raise the ire of Brazilian football player Perlisco. Forrest said, Seton, old school punk rocker dude. He knows his way around a mosh pit.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to bite anybody. I did see another tweet that somebody said I'm most likely to abuse bath salts, which means that I would start biting people, in which case I can't control anything that happens when you catch me in that mood.
Bath salts, yeah, they get
it's
you
like,
in the
I just
mood
wanna
for cannibalism.
ask for a pass on that one.
Yeah.
Bath salts.
And finally, Andrea shared this. Fritzy would most likely bite someone, a female. We all know why.
Hey now.
Yeah, that's. I haven't bit any of the females. Not that there have been that many, but the women that unfortunately had the opportunity to be next to me in bed.
Wait, you said I haven't bit that many?
No, I haven't bit any. But I've tried some other things. I'm more of a role playing and costumes and things like that. I try not to get my teeth too involved.
Well, the thing, Brock, as long as you fought Fritzy during breakfast or lunch, he wouldn't bite you. He doesn't eat breakfast or lunch.
That's right. 4 in the afternoon, though, you may get severely injured at that point.
I don't know if Fritzy calls out a sandwich when he's in bed with his wife. Okay, coming up, we'll see if Fritzy's mock headlines were worth the wait.
And how dare anyone out there make fun of Fritzy after all he's been through? All you people care about is who he does and doesn't book. He's a human! What you don't realize is Fritzy is booking all these guests, and all you do is say a bunch of crap about him. He does mock headlines, but that's never enough. All you people want is more! Leave him alone! You're lucky he even calls anyone for you bastards! Leave Fritzy alone!
Welcome back to the box score. Fritzy, at least you got Chris Crocker in your corner. There's no doubt that you get picked on a lot during the show.
That means a lot. That means a lot to me.
But maybe McLovin should take some heat today. You thought that Eric Winalda wasn't being serious when he said that USA soccer coach Jurgen Klinsmann should be fired if he lost tomorrow. Why do you think he was being serious?
Wait. First of all, I shouldn't take heat for that. Eric Winalda should take heat for that. Now, if Klinsmann doesn't get fired, he's not on the hot seat if they lose to Germany, which I would say, I'm actually going to go out on a limb and call myself more of a soccer expert than one Eric Winalda on this one.
Really?
Because I would be shocked. You're telling me if Germany beats US, Klinsmann, who's made all the right moves the entire World Cup, according to Yahoo.com, is going to get fired. I just can't believe, I can't even compute it.
I tend to agree with McLovin on this one. When Alda said it, I said into Dan's ear, I said, really? Because I thought he may have been a little facetious, a little like, oh, he's going to get fired. You know,
like with a wink, right?
I thought he was like, wink. And then Dan asked, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, and I think he should. And so it was like a double ask, which kind of gives you the sense that he meant it.
Seton, putting Chris Crocker's emotional plea aside, do you think that the mock headlines are on life support still?
Yeah, there's no question. At least from my chair. I feel a little bad that the other Danettes were sort of lumped in with my take on the mock headlines.
No one really complained about the lumping, though.
Yeah, I know. Usually somebody's like, whoa, hey, that's not me. I didn't say that. But I think it's sort of a backhanded way of doing something nice for Todd, although coming up with 25 mock headlines today really didn't help the cause either. I'm trying to slim it down into like a really killer 5
As am I with
instead
Todd.
of
There's a lot of
a
slimming
kind of
going
crappy
on.
25, you know?
It's weird because I thought today he had a lot of really good ones today. That being said, it took a star player biting someone in the World Cup to open that door. How often is that going to happen?
Very, very rare.
Well, but if they don't kick Suarez out, it'll probably happen next match.
Every 4 years. Fritzy, you waited and waited to share your masterpiece with the world, and you finally got to it at the end of the second hour.
Anything less than 2-year ban would be bunch of Hannibal. Can I read a few more? What a dental case. Win, lose, or draw. This guy's nuts.
All right, that one's good. That's it.
That's it?
Well, that's good. Okay, go ahead.
It's black and white. That's a floss, dog.
Oh, Fritzy!
Oh, my God.
Yeah!
Oh,
All right.
you just went Mike Francesa.
I did. I won't root canal for him anymore.
No, see?
I did too much.
See?
Yeah, see, that's where you go wrong. Although I love the roller coaster ride of it a little bit, where it's kind of good and it's kind of bad. There's good ones in there, and I love a good mock headline just as much as everybody, and I love an epic fail just as much as everybody. It just seems to be a little too much to one side.
Yeah, I get a little too excited, and these guys try their best to reel me in, and Paul will turn around and be like, that's it, get out on that one, get out on the laugh, but I always have to push it for some reason.
Is this like an OCD thing?
No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I have a few extra ones in there, and I think either they're good, or I got to check that box somehow that I wrote these, so somehow I have to actually verbalize them. They can't just sit there wasted on the sheet, and then you run the risk of it ending flat instead of leaving on a positive note.
Got to learn from George Costanza. That's my set. Fritzy, your arch nemesis called in the third hour and tried to embarrass the champ.
No bark, all bite.
All right.
One chewed over the cuckoo's nest. One is crazy.
All right.
Molar eclipse. Where was the referee? And finally, bang bang. That bite was piling on.
get that one.
He had some good ones in there. And again, I've said this before, as competitive as I am and sensitive I am, is that I want to have like the best mock headlines. I do love when Sven and others, whether they call in or tweet it or send an email, and they, I got so many, as we all did, everyone jumping in trying to come up with clever headlines off the Suarez biting. So I find that flattering, and everybody wants to contribute and get theirs mentioned on or read on the show. So it's all good. I really don't get that upset if Sven has a good one. I don't want them to be great, but if they're good, then bring it on.
Well, we asked the man who pit the nation against you if today's performance saved the mock headline brand. Let's see what he said in today's edition of Boss's Thoughts.
I thought Fritzy rallied, did a pretty good job, but if I give you 3 hours to do that and nothing else, I'm pretty confident we'd be able to come up with decent mock headlines. The problem I have is every time he does mock headlines, he doesn't do anything else. And then he gets sensitive that I'm calling on it, that he didn't do his other jobs. So I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Take away mock headlines, he's going to cry. If I let him do mock headlines and he doesn't do his other jobs, then he's going to get upset that I'm picking on him. So I don't know what to do. I'm going to let the Danettes decide. That's the best way to go about it. He's going to hate anybody. He can hate somebody on his side. But I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Brock, the mock headline brand franchise per se kind of feels like Blockbuster Video in the late 90s. Like they may have a good weekend here and there, but the future is bleak.
No response, Fritzy? Okay, well, you can do it in the next segment. Because coming up, the guys let us know who gets on their nerves in the man cave. Welcome back to the Box Score. A lot of tension on the show today, so that got us wondering. If you had to choose, which Danette would you say gets on your nerves the most? Let's get real as we play another edition of...
No! Your Rose!
Let's begin in the back row. McLovin, which of you guys annoys Fritzy the most?
Wow, I don't really want to go here, but I'm going to have to say Paulie.
Was it Paulie?
That would be Paulie, because he knows how to push my buttons, and he can be very snarky, and sometimes he steps over the line, and that's a fairly easy choice, and yeah, he knows how to get me going.
Yeah, we just, we're both type A personalities, and Paul will sometimes say, he'll say something in jest, and maybe I'll take it the wrong way.
You live in Bizarro world?
You're a type M personality.
Yeah, I know.
And by the way, that's the most... That's
somewhere between G and X.
Right, that's the most definitive answer I've ever heard Fritzy give. You answered Paulie, and there was no question about it. I wish you'd be this vocal and distinctive with any other question ever.
It's probably not going to happen. I'm just kind of right down the middle, indecisive. But Paul will sometimes, he'll send an email, or he's very direct. But unfortunately, I
hate that.
I take it as a little more than that at times, which, some of it is my own sensitivity. Some of it is, sometimes I wish he would choose his words in a more comfortable way. So
yeah, long and rambling.
I don't even know why I'm asking this. Seton, who pisses Paulie off?
Well, I guess Fritzy. I don't really think Fritzy pisses Paul off, but I guess I'll say Fritzy.
Okay, was it Fritzy?
I don't really get truly mad or annoyed by any of them, really. Sometimes I get frustrated by Fritzy when he's vague and indirect instead of sometimes giving a direct answer. Like right now, say, Fritzy, what do you think of what Paul just said? And I bet you anything he'll give you a vague answer.
Fritzy, what do you think of what I just said?
He makes some valid points. It's okay. Some of it's right, some of it's wrong, some of it's...
Well, you sort of channeled Fritzy there, where you're like, well, I guess Fritzy. No one really, but if I had to pick, that was a little vague.
Well, I initially said nobody, and they wouldn't let me pick nobody, and so I had to pick somebody.
Yeah, just yesterday, Paulie sent me a note, and it upset me for some reason because
what was the note?
I sent everybody a note about like the Vegas odds for LeBron and where he's going, whatever. And I just was sharing with the guys, which I guess I could have just saved and printed it out the next day or whatever. And I got and it's hard to read with emails in any business. You don't know when someone's playful, someone's just telling you something.
So what Paulie said?
And it said something like, "Please stop sending me these emails."
Brock, I'd like to weigh in.
Well, please don't ever send me these emails again.
That would have actually been worse if Paul had said it in person, by the way.
Right.
Just in case you're confused, the email is the nicer way.
He did say please. He did say please.
Well, about 2 years ago, and then again a year ago, there's this guy who sends sports prop bet odds to myself and Fritzy probably 3 times a week. He sends them both to Fritzy and to myself. And what Fritzy does when he gets them, he sends them again to me.
But I wasn't aware that Paulie was.
I've sent it to you twice, and you chose to ignore it both times.
Why would I send it to you if I knew you already got it?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I wish I knew the answer to that. because
I didn't see your name CC like on the email. If I saw your name on it, I wouldn't.
I directly turned my chair and said, "Hey, I get those already from this guy. You don't have to send them to me
Then I
again."
apologize. I didn't remember that.
You
But
don't
when I
have to
got that note, I was
apologize.
like,
Don't ever do it again.
please don't send me these emails ever again. The email I got.
I think Paulie's feeling better about his answer now. Back to Fritzy. What was McLovin's answer?
They've had a couple of run-ins in the past, but things for the most part are okay. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to lean towards Seton. I don't have any other evidence other than just, over the years, there have been a couple of moments where Seton may have been kidding and McLovin took it the wrong way or vice versa. There were dodgeballs thrown at each other in fits of rage, incidents at in the box.
Just say Seton.
What does it mean, Seton?
My answer is Seton.
Seton. But it didn't really make me that mad or annoy me. We used to sort of butt heads, but not as much anymore. Yeah, until we butt heads again. Yeah, we've had some epic blowouts, man.
It's been a while, though.
Yeah, I mean, the dodgeball day will go down. That's maybe one of the 10 to 15 most famous.
Oh,
Dan Patrick
dude, that
shows.
was nothing compared to the mid-box score blow up that Dan sat in
But
on.
by the
That was
way,
the worst.
That would have just gone right away if Dan didn't make a big deal out of it.
No, you were super mad at me, dude. You were so mad. That's the maddest you've ever been at
I
me.
wish we had
without a
video
doubt.
of that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's extremely awkward.
Yeah, you would know better than me. Yeah.
That's very telling.
Yeah.
But that all got really confused. Like when remember after
The only reason that got diffused was because Dan was here and you didn't even know Dan was there.
Oh, I got it. Well, but halfway mid-curse, I knew Dan was there. But then Dan's like, I don't even know you guys. Anybody who'd been within an 80-yard radius of me and Seton in the month before would have seen us like strangling each other.
Well, that's old bygones, right?
What? Who made this know your real question? It's causing nothing but trouble.
It's the best one we've had ever.
Me instigating over there.
And finally, Paulie, who did Seton say annoyed him on the reg?
I don't think it's McLovin. Maybe 2 years ago that would have been an answer. I don't think it's Fritzy. I think he would go Dan if he was eligible, but probably me.
Was it you?
Probably Paul. Dang, yeah, just down and dirty. I didn't even think about that one. Actually, I wanted to retape that so I could act like, man, is it McLovin? No, we're kind of getting along now.
Fake delay.
But by the way,
maybe Paul if I had to choose.
Could you ask that question after any given show? We all might have a different answer. Like,
Yeah, I was probably annoyed with Paul that moment.
we
like,
rotate
Paul.
around. We're all, it's close quarters here. I think, no offense with you, but you have annoyed me in the past.
I'm sure I have.
Well, yeah, actually everybody here is annoying. I annoy myself. I'm really annoying. And it is close quarters, and we don't see a lot of different people during the day after day after day, so we all kind of get on each other's nerves.
Yeah, Brock, just for your interest, there was a prop bet where everyone thought it was going to be all 3 of these guys would pick me, and Fritzy sent me that email 4
I
times.
did. I sent it to him a couple of times.
Yeah, let's Vegas.
He really appreciated that. He likes getting the same email over and over again as much as possible.
You're consistent. It was a tie, 2-2. Coming up, it is time to wrap up things here in the box score. Probably wrap them up and box it out, right? Welcome back to the box score. In the last segment, Paulie got 2 votes, one from Seton and one from Fritzy as the most annoying Danette. We went around the control room, camera guys, the lot. And Paulie, I just want to inform you that you won by a landslide. You got 7 out of 13 votes. Your thoughts, sir?
Fantastic. Making an impact.
Much deserved.
Making an impact.
Much deserved.
Back at you guys. Bill Wagner. What?
See, we're not going to let you off scot-free. How would you rate your show performance today?
Pretty miserable. Today was a bad show. Messed up the vampire soundbite thing. I forgot to hit stat of the day, which actually was kind of lame anyway, because Dan sort of meekly mumbled his way through it and was like, where's the stat of the day? I had another huge failure that nobody even spoke about. I think by that point, Dan was so just defeated that he didn't even want to bring it up on air. Did anybody catch that? I played the wrong soundbite from Winalta. Yeah, he said, hey, now FIFA, here's what FIFA's going to do, and I completely hit the wrong soundbite, and he just looked at me, like shook his head, gave a big sigh, and I was like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure he mumbled the F word, like, F this, dude. Show's almost over.
That was the controversial piece of sound, too. That's the one that started the whole furor.
Yeah, screwed that up big time. Miserable.
Well, let's look at the one where you screwed it up on Stat of the Day. Stat of the Day.
Only one other player in league history has had a longer drought in between Hart trophies. Jean Beliveau. There you go, a little stat of the day for you. See, and that's when you hit the Will Ferrell, Ron Burgundy.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, tap, tap, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day. Top.
What happened today? Morale just seems stagnant.
That was a total snoozer of a stat of the day, except for also he gave his the little flair.
He just kind of
that
threw it
was
out there.
boring.
That was weak. I thought he hung Seton out to dry. That didn't have a feel of stat of the day with all kinds of numbers and stuff. He just kind of threw out like a little comment, and all of a sudden he decided that was a stat of the day, and Seton was supposed to somehow pick up on that with some kind of telepathy and know to hit that.
Wouldn't even like slightly interesting fact of the day. Slightly interesting fact of the day. Slightly interesting fact of the day.
Fritzy, lift our spirits. Who's on tomorrow?
ESPN college basketball analyst, former college coach Seth Greenberg will join us, get us ready for the NBA draft, and our friend NFL Network host Rich Eisen will be part of Thursday's show.
For morale, because Dan's watching, I'm sure Dan. Let's all bring it in. Show him how much we care. I'm Coach Taylor, Friday Night Lights. Bring it in. Bring it in. Come on. Bring it in.
I'm good.
Whatever, dude.
Go team.
Whatever, Paulie.
We don't need that.
Thanks for watching The Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!